Jack will stop watering and he'll regain his composure and kind of lean into Core. You know, that's why I brought so much beer, because I know how difficult it can be to work with, just in case.
You're a real saint, Jack. Core, like, arm around Jack's shoulder, just like crying slightly.
Here comes Oak.
I don't know why I imagine like Oak bringing his feet together. Like he'll take a step and he'll bring the other foot up to the first one, and then take another step.
Hands behind him.
Yeah.
Oak, when did you get here?
If you need a taste tester for the next time you need something, see if it's poisonous or not. I have some skills.
I look at Jack, look down at my own goop-covered hands, and then just look at Oak. That would be really great. Core's going to ideally section the bear meat enough times that he gets multiple attempts at this.
Evelyn starts kind of getting antsy, like she's all done partying and wants to leave, but is too nervous.
20 minutes!
But she's too nervous of upsetting Core, so she kind of sits there, like, looking around at the people.
Wait, Core, I have an idea.
What's that?
Charlotte, can I get one of those beers?
She like without even like thinking about it, just one-handed grabs one out of the box and tosses it to him.
Woo.
Oh,
Jack will catch
braised bear meat. Okay, cool. Just
exactly.
Okay, I'll cook it. You do the everything, Jack. These hands of mine are tainted.
Just tell me what to do. Tell me what to do.
Turns out the ale that Charlotte brought it works pretty well as a cooking additive. Like Charlotte, who is getting steadily drunker, she's like, "Oh, that's great! I can now have the beer while I'm eating the beer."
Well, actually, it cooks the alcohol out, but who cares? Slams it down on the table. It's below my standard, but my God, am I so happy it's done!
I'm happy you're happy.
Jack reaches around and puts his hand between his shoulder blades. It's okay, buddy. It's okay.
Core just turns around and hugs Jack with all of his strength.
Everyone's getting hugs here.
Like this is the end scene of like one of those. Yeah, this is the equivalent in Core's mind of the end of Rocky, like one of those classic feel-good movies. He finally succeeds.
I can put this into perspective right now. Core didn't do anything like this when you guys completed the mission.
Yup.
Evelyn's actually getting emotional watching this.
Yeah, I've never seen a man work so hard. Like I said, you can kind of respect it.
Core takes, after hugging Jack, like truly appreciating his friend's hard work, he takes 3 paces away and then just collapses.
Jack will feel humbled by the hug, and he would have helped. Okay, hold on, Oak.
Coming, dude.
God dang it. He would have hugged Core back, and then he would have noticed, oh God, his hands are still covered in the... So then Jack will take off his shirt and bundle it up into a ball and toss it into one of the corners.
Zach will mutter to Evelyn, any excuse to take his shirt off.
Evelyn is, like, covering her eyes.
Oh, yeah. That's right. She's shy.
Well, this has been a great time. I hope Core's not dead. I really appreciate all that you've done, but I really should be going.
I'm checking his vitals now.
No, but just, come on, just stay for a few more minutes.
I believe that's the alcohol talking, Zach, but I do appreciate it. I should go. Bye.
Core puts one finger up. At least try the food.
Oh, right.
Jack will cut off a big slice, put it on a plate, and serve it to you.
There we go.
Evelyn will then take a bite of the bear meat. How does it taste?
It tastes like it was made by a master chef. Like, it is professional quality food. It tastes really good.
Evelyn, immediately her whole mood changes and she kind of brightens up. Cor, you really are a master chef. This tastes wonderful. It's so much better than the ramen.
Thanks, bro.
Not a problem, bro. Are you okay?
Tupperware containers of extras are by the door. He points
Come
over by the
on,
door.
Lucian, get up, come here up on the table, eat with us, huh?
When did he have time to make those?
I'm good at one thing.
Lucian.
Hey, Oak.
Lucian, come on, get up here. Come on, sit at the
Do you
table
remember
with
your
us.
name?
Oak kind of coaches Lucian back over to the table. He looks like a bombshell just detonated near his head.
Oh, man.
Jack would have cut up the entirety of the food, excluding the leftovers that are next to the door, and would have served everybody in this time.
Okay.
Oh, that's
Zach
perfect.
will take a couple bites and then also be very surprised how good it is. With all due respect, his brother never prepared bear exactly like this, master chef and all. And so he'll eat like his portion, but he'll complain about how stuffed he feels at the end, and he can't possibly have seconds. But
As soon as you say the word stuffed, Jack's eyes will roll so hard.
Why?
It's as if his eyes are now just white spheres.
oh well. Let me know what the back of your head looks like there, brother.
Ha ha ha.
Cor takes 3 bites of food and tears just start rolling down his cheek.
Oh, why are you crying now?
It's been a long day. And I'm just glad that I cooked a meal. He takes another bite out of it.
Zach pauses for a moment and kind of like runs his fork along his plate as if thinking, and he says, "You know what? I get it, though. I get it. I think I do at least, because food is surprisingly important to everyone. Everyone's got to eat, and everyone feels better when they eat well. I remember the same day ago, Lucian," and he'll kind of look up to Cor, and he says, "I asked you, what are you doing here, right? I think I got it now. Morale. You're real good for morale. I mean, we were going to just go our separate ways and rest on our own, and you suggested that we all get together here and have a nice meal together to unwind. I didn't think of that. No one else saw that. Only you did. Right? So, I don't know. I guess it's a roundabout way of me saying thank you. And sorry I brought a dish that was so challenging. I thought, you were..." Zach pauses for a moment. "You really liked new things to try out. I didn't realize it was going to be, this... I didn't know it was going to make you cry, dude."
Like, Cor was like mid like inspirational speech. He's like nodding along when you're like, "Yeah, morale and all this." He's like, "Yeah, wow, he's really getting it." It's like, "I didn't mean to bring along a new dish." Across the back of Cor's head, "Failure." It would be so challenging to cook. Failure. Just
no.
like the eyes just empty out.
Oh, no.
And he goes back to like staring into the middle of the distance, just like slumped over a bit, smoke emitting from his mouth.
Well, Zach's going to finish off his beer and say, "You know what? I think Evelyn was right. I think it's time to go. I think I'm going to..."
You can really taste the ramen.
There's no ramen in there.
Cor just brings up both of his hands and rests his face.
There's a moment of silence where all you hear is Charlotte smacking as she just consumes bear left and right, pulls air, just keeps going like an endless black hole to only be stopped by belching and chugging of beer.
All right. Well, have a great night, everyone. Feel better, Lucian. And I'll see you at the briefing tomorrow.
As you're leaving, Charlotte like says without turning around, she goes, "Zach,
Yeah.
whatever happens tomorrow, whatever I say,
Uh-huh.
the bitch fucking deserved it."
Zach pauses for a moment, he turns around, and he goes, "I'm glad to hear that, unofficially or not. Thanks, Charlotte. Yeah. Have a good night, everyone." And then Zach's gonna leave.
Charlotte, I think I'll walk you back to your room just to make sure you're all right.
She's unconscious on the table with like a beer, like with a bear rib like sticking out of her mouth.
Oh dear. I can't carry her. She like looks at her arms and looks at Charlotte and then looks at the rest of the guys.
Like as you start to like lift an arm over her, she like pops her. She goes, "Yeah. Let's get you home."
Do you need help?
Jack, could you help Charlotte help me get back to my room? By that I mean just let's take her out of here.
All right.
Thank you, Cor. Have a good night. Oak, it's always a pleasure seeing you. I'm glad you guys didn't die. I'm so sorry that you weren't there for that, but Zach yelled at me, but I deserved it about leaving you guys and abandoning you guys, but I never really wanted to abandon you guys there and let man Slayer kill you or anything like that. So I'm really glad you guys are still alive. Okay, bye.
Yeah, during that speech, both Cor and Oak just slowly swung their heads around at her. Both just empty-eyed, deep bags under them, watching Evelyn, neither of them saying anything.
When Evelyn says that speech, when she mentions abandoning, Charlotte suddenly like falls to her knees and starts wailing. She's like, Wansuk, I'm sorry.
Jack, she's making a scene. What are we gonna do?
Jack will pick her up gently and almost as if she weighs nothing and with no shirt on asks, "So where do we go?"
Oh, that's right, Evelyn then notices his bare chest and says, "Never mind, I'm gonna walk by myself. You got this, bye."
Charlotte like for a second like stops crying, like puts her hand against like your pecs, and then like feels it, like trying to figure out what she's touching. And then she looks up and she goes, "Oh, that's very nice and sweet. I'm not really into guys, but that's." And then falls asleep against your chest.
But where's your room?
She's softly snoring.
Jack will fiddle with the underside of his chin. Click. You'll hear a couple of soft clicks, and then he will start speaking. Wansuk, are you there?
So there's an unrecognized voice responds. I'm sorry, this isn't Wansuk's shift. She's actually gone for the night. Can I help you with anything? Who is this?
I'm a friend trying to get into contact with her. Do you know her radio signal?
What? People don't just have radio signals. Look, who is this? I can probably try and help you as best I can. What's your name? Are you a Corsair?
Technically, no.
Oh, you're an academic. All right, cadet, what's your name?
Jack Spender.
Oh, I see. You were one of the ones on the test that she was operating for.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh, I get it. Yeah, no, I forgot to turn in gear 2 on my test. Look, don't worry about it, kid. Look, Wansuk's pretty understanding about that. Here's her address, and the speaker will give you the address. Just tell her you were tired, you forgot to turn it in. She'll take care of it.
Okay. Thank you. Then you will turn off the radio. You guys will again hear a soft click, and then he will go, "Okay, Cor, whatever bear meat is there is yours. Have fun with it."
I will, thank you.
Yes. Thank you for the lovely meal, and I will see you both later. Jack will sling her back into a bridal carry and start heading out.
As the room settles to a dead silence, what's your hobby?
Or an Oak have like the off-screen heart-to-heart of a lifetime.
Yes.
That is amazing.
Things.
And thus, the potluck that lasted all of, 45 minutes. So, we can go ahead and the next morning... here's what I'll do. I will cut to the next morning. You guys, let's say you're supposed to be there at 7 a.m. I'm curious to know how you guys arrive.
Zach's gonna arrive right on time, as per usual.
Jack, rather annoyingly, will probably be there too because they share a room.
Yep.
Oh, God.
And I got up 2 hours early for this.
Yes. So Jack is kind of tired.
Oh,
When you come into the
should've got to
room,
bed earlier.
you see Wansuk, again, impeccably dressed in her wheelchair towards the back of the room. And Charlotte, she is dressed in a proper uniform. It is ironed. It is neat. She has drawn on some eyebrows in a tasteful manner. And her hair has actually been cut to where it's very short. She's saying that she's like, as you guys come in, if you would, stand on the platforms.
Did I hear something about a platform? I yell as I walk in.
Yeah, stand on this one, Zach says as he points to the one next to him. No, the other one. No, he still feels guilty about last night, so no.
Oh, no. Cord hops up on the platform with a cheery step, whistle playing across his lips. He's in high spirits.
Oh, good.
Charlotte nods and she says, first, she looks at Oak straight in the eye. Thank you.
Oak nods with his eyes.
Wansuk rolls hers.
Oak, thanks from me as well. Cord flashes you a thumbs up across Zach.
Thanks, sister.
Double finger guns.
Zach is slowly showing his head, being in between these two numbers.
What, Zach? Oak gets me.
Charlotte says this is your first time, obviously, being in a mission review. Typically, if the mission goes well or as planned, you will debrief Corsair Command here. If things are more complicated than that, it may be held in a public tribunal. This process is similar, but it is obviously far more public. And you as Corsairs would have known all about this. Missions that are questionable, maybe something bad happened, or maybe not, it wasn't on the part of the Corsairs, but something major happened, something big, can sometimes be public tribunals where all of Zebron watches the proceedings, because Corsairs, their reputation is so important that they continually make sure that they're not hiding things from the public. She says, however, on certain missions or majority of your missions, this will do. I was, to cover the formalities, your instructor during this test, and Wansuk was your operator. Wansuk has already relayed to me her impressions of your mission. She is impressed. You utilized her when needed, but did not clog the airways with needless traffic, nor did you rely upon her too much. She feels that, as far as her part in the matter is concerned, you performed rather well. And that is certainly to be commended. As for my part, we'll get to that in a second, but I'm curious to ask you all, how do you think the mission went? How do you think you individually performed?
Zach will look around.
Evelyn has her eyes on the ground.
I think we did this particular mission extraordinarily well, especially since it was an advanced course.
That is true. I chose a bounty for you as opposed to the test that was originally designed for you. And do not think for a second I have not considered that.
Zach nods to Oak's remark and says, yeah, a few things were touch and go, and personally I would have rather have not seen a team member be absent here because he's in the hospital. But at least they did not perish. He kind of looks expectantly over at Charlotte, right?
He is well and stable.
So it wasn't absolutely perfect, not something that you write a textbook over, but yeah, I think we did a fine job.
As far as the job went, I thought it was about as clean as they go. There was some pretty clever planning on the part of Cor looks down at the line, my companions, my teammates. A lot of clever stuff happened. He sort of subconsciously touches the area where he assumes vomit was on his clothing. But, personally speaking, out of everyone, I think I held the group back the most, and, well, that's saying a lot because I didn't hold them back too much. Cor looks proud of himself.
I think there needs to be a little more clarification on our roles, and of course we need to continue to build on teamwork, but for 6 people who were just classmates expected to perform together on a high-value target, we worked well enough, that's for sure. We didn't let any personal problems get in the way of what needed to be done, and we all made it back.
Improve your teamwork, so you would be willing to work again with each other?
Oh, is that an option?
Yeah,
Okay.
before like that has any time to impact, Cor just juts his hand forward and goes, of course we're willing to work together again.
And now, Zach, not wanting to be the person to cause a, if I can use the pun, rift between the group. He'll nod but though inside his head he'll be like, oh god. He's saying, yes, of course. If one team can get the job done one time, it can be assumed that they can continue to work together. Like I said, just requires some developing, some, good old-fashioned practice.
I see. Charlotte would look at Jack.
As far as the mission went, I'm not entirely sure if it was the most successful. Specifically because, as always, we want to bring people in alive. We want to make sure that they can at least be held accountable for their actions or can explain themselves. However, due to the nature of what happened with the mission, aka this gigantic fire elemental, I understand that it's probably a bad idea to take out or eliminate your target, but under the circumstances, we need to leave and get rid of her right then and there. As far as teamwork went, we worked pretty well for people who just met each other yesterday, for the most part. And as far as my personal, how I did during this mission, I'm not sure if I did much of anything good, other than looking after the kids. As far as working with these people, of course I will. We bonded really well after the mission. At a little party.
Charlotte's eyes kind of drop a little bit when you say that.
Cor just grins at Jack from down the line, like subtle thumbs up to him.
Jack will, still staring at Charlotte on the sly, give you a thumbs up.
Still stoic face.
Yup.
Charlotte will then turn her eyes to Evelyn.
Evelyn's still staring at the ground.
Evelyn, your thoughts?
As far as how the mission went?
Yes. And your personal performance in it.
I thought the mission went all right. I mean, I guess it's all about coming up with plans on the fly and adjusting as need be, and I think that we all did really pretty well. As for me, I don't think I contributed a whole lot. She'll give a shrug and a sad smile. I would like to work with them again.
She nods. And then she's quiet for a moment, and she says, my assessment, for the most part, is similar to yours. You all showed a capacity to think before acting, and came up with clever and indirect methods to achieve your goals. Many people would have looked at the protection that Man-Eater had and thought it would have been unattainable without immediately calling down heavier firepower. You found other ways. It is a good trait. You completed the mission, corrected the timeline. At the end of the day, that is object number 1. I will say this. While you completed your mission, I urge you to consider the rashness of your actions by killing Manslayer. It is difficult for a Corsair, because we cannot simply take out a target. There's too much at stake many times. If you had killed a double, someone made to look like Man-Eater, and I promise you that is not uncommon, or if she had information, for example, if she had been slain but the timeline was not corrected, we could have interrogated her to find out why. We could have found a better solution. When she is dead, none of these options are available to us. But above all, if you are forced to kill a target, try not to dispose of the entire body. Bring something back so that it can be identified.
Zach crosses his arms, and he says, we were told, dead or alive. If an asset of a target is so important as you outlined, then the dead shouldn't have been an option.
She shakes her head. She says, no, dead should always be an option. Better to kill her than to leave her alive and continue to do what she did. I am simply pointing out the complications that arise from such a thing.
Zach once again shakes his head, but I understand that we'd have to protect ourselves. But in order for us to claim the bounty, the 600,000 credits, we asked if she had to be captured alive or if it could be dead. I understand there are tactical benefits to having someone alive, but if it is so important to Corsair Command, then they shouldn't say that killing the target is acceptable, because from what you're telling us now, it is not acceptable. It is unoptimal. It is borderline wrong. You should try for an alive target all the time, correct?
You answered your own question. It is not optimal. It is borderline wrong, but it is not wrong. It is not the best course of outcome, which is why we offer incentives and bonuses to bring them back alive. But to not suggest that you can't kill the target would be a far greater problem.
Well, that bitch slit the throats of children, so I don't care how much chewing out we'd get.
Charlotte nods, and she says, what I said at the party still stands. My point, if there is one to be taken from this, is only that to kill someone is a permanent and final solution, and one day, if you're not careful, you may find that you regret the action. That aside, I feel that you all have shown that you have what it takes to be Corsairs. You are smart, you're intuitive, you work well as a team, and you get the job done. Cor, Evelyn, Jack, you should have more confidence in yourselves. This mission would not have been completed Dom would not be alive if it were not for your actions along with everyone else's. And that is why I am recommending to Corsair Command that effective immediately, you become full-fledged Corsairs.
Oh, thank you. Cor stares at Charlotte. I'm sorry I tried to protect more of your hair, but it didn't. He kind of, like, hand near mouth, a little nervous.
Her mouth turns into a small frown at the mention of hair.
Kind of scratches the back of his neck. You can compliment me, but if I were a better mage, I could have saved all of it.
Corsairs are not gods. We are not perfect. We are good enough to get the job done.
Zach gives a big smile, and he says something that Jack would recognize as something that their father says. Good enough isn't good enough. We plan on being the best.
Charlotte nods. She says, I wouldn't celebrate so much just yet. You have a lot of work to do. We'll be submitting the paperwork. You, as a team, are going to have to requisition your ship. It is traditional to form a team name. It is also traditional for the Corsair team to pick their operator, so it might be good to look into your options and begin thinking about your choices. And most importantly, all of you need to, after lunch at 1 p.m. today, report to the Avius sector to get your Rex installed.
Evelyn grows visibly worried at that.
Jack doesn't.
Cor does too.
Yeah. Charlotte says after she says, and while I am officially no longer your instructor, I would request after the Rex are done that we all meet for, let's say, dinner. I have something to discuss with all of you.
I'd love to. No bear. No offense, Jack, no bear.
That's fine.
And with that, I have a lot of paperwork, so good luck. It hurts. And I'll see you at dinner.
Great.
It hurts. Oh! For a second, he thought he meant like her burns, but no, she's implying the wreck installation.
She means the wreck. Yeah, yes, Evelyn?
No,
Oh,
nothing. No, I was just saying great. I love the idea.
all right. Well,
I should get going. See ya. Bye.
Bye, teammate! Jack says happily.
She just runs by you. She kind of gives you a little wave.
Oh, hey, I'll take it. You know what? That's better than it was 3 days ago. We're working towards it, Evelyn. We're working towards our friendship.
And Jack will kind of slap his arm around Cor's shoulder and go, so have you ever had stag?